Are you someone who's always confused about what kind of toys you should buy for your little one? Or are you one of those parents who buys a similar kind of toys a little too much? Hi, I'm Riddhi Savla, founder of Ikigai Global Prep School, also an early childhood educator, teacher trainer, and parenting coach. And today's topic for Parenting Simplified is choosing the right toy for your little one. As parents, my first recommendation to you before buying a toy would be to understand the 4 major areas of development that children undergo in early childhood education. It's very simple. It's basically language, cognition or intellectual thinking, physical development, which includes fine and gross motor development, and the 4th one is socio-emotional development. When you understand that there are 4 areas in which children develop and grow when they are little, you can then streamline buying your toys for all different areas of development. What most parents do, and actually most of us end up doing, is we are inclined towards one area of development. So if I'm a parent who really loves books, then I'm mostly buying books for my little one, thus giving my little one more and more exposure to language development and not so much to the other 3 areas. Whereas if I'm a parent who's very sporty or very physical in nature, I will tend to buy more toys which are fine and gross motor and activity and exercise based, thus ignoring the other areas. So once you understand, you need to buy toys which equally meet all 4 areas of development, which is physical, language or verbal, cognitive, which includes thinking, so anything mathematical, logic based, and socio-emotional, an often ignored area because parents are simply not aware of it. So once you know these 4 areas, it becomes very, very simple to buy and choose toys, whether you're buying them or you're borrowing them from a library. To give you an example of each of the areas of development and toys that would align with it, the simplest one for language has to be books, because that's where children really pick up language from. So, buy different types of books. I will do a whole different Parenting Simplified episode on types of books that early childhood children need. But when you pick up books, just exposes them to so much more vocabulary, so much more conversation, so many more questions and answers. So apart from language, what you're also then going to give your child exposure to is science, right? So language development is taken care of when you're buying books, flashcards, toys like that. The second area of development, like I told you, is fine motor development, and I'm just grabbing my simplest fine motor toy. I think all of us invest in beads. So anything that requires children to use their fine motor muscles, which is their pincer grip muscles, their finger and wrist muscles, is basically a fine motor toy. So, when they learn to bead or when they learn to lace, they are picking up different fine motor skills and pincer grip or pencil grip skills, right? So that's what you do. You also buy, along with language toys, a lot of fine motor toys. Very, very crucial to get your child ready for high school or the big school, because that's where they're going to learn formal writing. Apart from fine motor, in physical development, the other part of physical development is gross motor. So anything that involves exercise, you need not buy toys to get children to get physically fit or exercise, but just balls, different types of balls, or games that they need to run around and play with, or indulging in a sport is enough for gross motor development. Now this toy that I was just picking and playing with, which includes basically laces and some strings and some beads, also fits into my 3rd category of toys, which is cognitive toys, because here intellect or logic gets used up. So shapes, colors, patterning, which comes after which, imagination of what kind of a necklace or bracelet I want to weave, for someone at home. All of those things that require children to think and think out of the box or think creatively are part of your cognitive development for children. That's our 3rd area. And the 4th area, which I mentioned previously, gets often ignored because parents are simply not aware that they need to give exposure to these kind of toys as well, is socio-emotional development. Now, what is socio-emotional? Anything that gets children to talk to themselves as well as talk to others, learning to speak with others, have conversations, and also getting in touch with their own emotions and the emotions of others becomes a socio-emotional development. And toys toys for those are very important. To give you an example, my most favorite things in the world, finger puppets or glove puppets. These are very, very cute. They're available everywhere in the market, whether in the library or outside in a store. And they are great conversation starters, something like, hey, Froggy, have you seen my little duckling? No, Miss Duck, I haven't seen your little duckling because I've been busy looking for my food. And that's how the conversation goes ahead. So it's not just socio-emotional development. There's of course a lot of language development that's happening. There's fine motor and there's cognitive. So socio-emotional toys kind of address a lot of other areas of development as well. There would be no toy that I would say is only primarily focused on any one area. Every toy reaches out to more than an area or a subject of learning for children. Coming to the wee bit of the conversation is, okay, fair, Riddhi. We will pick 4 different areas of development and toys according to that, giving our children a balance and see which area our child is more inclined towards. That's great. But how else do you choose a toy when you're out at the store or you're at the library? How do you pick a toy? The easiest way to pick a toy is going with the interest of your child. And the interest of young children vary very quickly. So for the first 1 or 2 months, you will realize your children are obsessed with beads or with blocks. The next 2 months, you will see it's just changed and now they're obsessed with puppets or with language. So depending on what they are showing inclination towards, pick those toys, because then there'll be intrinsic motivation for the child to go and play rather than you pushing them to say, hey, I've got you a new toy, why don't you explore it? Right? So something that aligns with the interest of your child has to be a very important criteria. The second one I would say is age and developmental appropriateness. Parents quite often don't understand whether a toy is too easy or too simple, or sometimes it's over complex for the child as per the child's age, because we're seeing everybody else buy flashcards, we go ahead and buy them, but maybe our child has outgrown that. Or maybe those are too difficult for your child to understand. If you give your child a toy or a game which is very simple and that they can solve easily, they will lose interest and get bored and then create chaos, which we all get irritated with. On the other hand, if you're giving them something which is very complex, which they are never going to be able to solve on their own or, get to, then you're leading to frustration, and that impacts their self-esteem and self-confidence. So it's very important to understand the stage and the level that your child is in and pick a toy which is optimal, challenging enough, but not very simple, just the right balance of challenge and simplicity. The third criteria is cost. Okay, I know that, we all want to splurge on our children, but we have to understand that they outgrow toys very quickly. So let's pick toys which are cost effective, pocket friendly, and that can, that they can play with over a long period of time and not outgrow very quickly. Toys which can be multifunctional, which can be played in a variety of ways, which you can keep over years, are toys that you should be picking up, not very flimsy ones, which brings me to point 4, that durability is also a very important criteria. I would always prefer books which are hardbound, which are, laminated, rather than just plain paper books for very young children, because then they'll go tearing the books. So like I said, to sum up, cost effectiveness, age and developmental appropriateness, durability, and personal interest. When you look at these 4 criteria, you will be able to easily pick a toy for your little one. I hope this conversation was useful for you, and that will help you choose or select a toy, whether you're buying it or you're sourcing it from a library. And hopefully this will also engage your children much better, especially in the lockdown, given that most of us are homeschooling our children. So picking the right toys hence becomes very, very crucial. Thank you so much for listening in. Waiting to get more suggestions on what we can bring to you next. We have announced and we have launched our YouTube channel. All of the videos, there are so many Parenting Simplified videos, there's storytelling videos, there's left and right brain development videos, and much more that we keep posting. We go by the name Ikigai Global Prep School on YouTube as well. So follow us there, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and can't wait to hear from you guys. Till then, happy parenting, stay safe, stay home. Bye-bye.